economy, data is one of the most valuable assets. But how can organizations share data while keeping full control? The International Data Spaces Association, or IDSA, is a global nonprofit that sets standards for trusted data spaces, secure environments where organizations exchange data while preserving sovereignty. With over 170 members across 31 countries, IDSA is driving interoperable and secure data ecosystems worldwide. A data space uses a federated architecture, meaning data stays where it is. There is no central storage and no vendor lock-in. Through common specifications and protocols, participants can publish data, negotiate usage terms, and exchange information securely and transparently. In Malaysia, the IDSA Hub, inaugurated in 2024, is facilitated by Digital Connect Society, a member of Malaysian Technical Standards Forum Berhad and a technical committee member of Department of Standards Malaysia. Together, we are enabling trusted collaboration, protecting data sovereignty, and shaping a smarter digital future.
Good sound to begin with, and welcome to the evening show. I'm your host, Stephen Poon. This is our third episode of Unboxed² series, organized by the Policy, Research and Engagement Initiative, PREI, from the Digital Connect Society and supported by Mila University. Right. What a good evening to all the audience out there. We are live on YouTube now. A big wave to all the audience out there. And at this time now, in the regular team of DCS, coming up on the discussion this evening, as always, lots of interesting stuff on the topic of today, which is the Global Lab, navigating the Internet of Agents. In this debut episode series, we explore how the world has become a living lab, reshaping our daily lives while we struggle to keep up through our contribution to achieving the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. We learned that there are two carefully selected SDGs that lead us on the journey of attaining the SDG 9, the United Nations blueprint to build resilient infrastructure, promote inclusive, sustainable industrialization, and foster innovation. By enabling smart data-driven management of physical infrastructure, boosting manufacturing efficiency, and fostering digital innovation. It empowers industry to upgrade to sustainable practices and ensures universal, affordable access to information and communication technology. The second one, SDG 11, is dedicated to making cities and human settlements inclusive, safe, resilient, and sustainable. In this context, By deploying sensor networks, edging computing, and real-time data analytics, IoT solves critical urban challenges such as excessive carbon emission and traffic congestion to make cities more inclusive, safe, and resilient. In this episode, we will be taking this conversation into another level. During this with World Telecommunication and Information Society Day, a timely reminder of how between humans and intelligent system. We have Rob van Kronenberg today. Rob is a prolific writer and theorist exploring the connected world and its profound impact on human relationship, the environment, and interaction with machine. As a pioneering voice in the Internet of Things IoT landscape, he founded the IoT Council, a global think tank, and established IoT Day to foster public engagement and bridge the gap between complex technology and everyday citizenship. His work often explains the intersection of digital infrastructure and social equity. His recent publication, A Springer Brief in Political Science, dives into the evolving nature of governance and statecraft in the 21st century. The book titled Statecraft and Policymaking in the Age of Digital Twins, Digital Democracy and the Internet of Things. Professional power and policy in an era defined by ubiquitous sensing and algorithmic management. By advocating for negotiated spaces, Rob challenges us to rethink privacy, agency, and democratic participation, ensuring that the hyper-connected future remains human-centric rather than purely data-driven. Please welcome Rob van Kronenberg. Rob, are you there? I think we're having a little bit of technical situation here. So we just wait for Rob to... there is a little connection. I think I see some streaming. Just give us a second, audience.
Hello?
There you go, Rob. I thought I'm going to miss you. Rob, how are you doing? Rob, can you hear me? It's a bit unstable.
So, can you hear me now?
Rob, can you hear me?
And now I don't hear you.
Yes,
So,
very clear from my side.
let's see what's happening here.
Oh, you don't hear me. Okay, come on.
Strange, because in the
The audience is
preparation
waiting
everything
for
went
us.
fine. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you very clear. Can you hear me? Yes, I can hear you. I'm okay. Can you hear me? Do you want to leave the studio, then come back in again? Rob, do you want to leave the studio? Oh, yeah, you can't hear me, by the way. Okay, I think, give me a second. I talk to my technical team to settle your technical issue. Oh, Hi, Rob.
Hello, I can hear
You
you.
hear me?
Everything's fine. Yes, yes.
Finally, oh dear. There you go. Tech. We talk about tech today. Then we are struggling with tech.
It's always the same. It's
Okay,
always the
good.
same.
Good to see you back. Okay,
Yes,
yes. Yeah, I know that. Yeah, I know that. Once you want to
yes,
handle this, it's not that easy. When it's good, everything is all good. If it's not good, then we have to
exactly,
struggle. Okay, here we go.
exactly.
So, welcome. Okay, how are you doing actually today? I know that is I think it's the midday over the Netherlands, right?
Yes, yeah. I think I'm doing very good, and we're also going to get some good weather tomorrow. Although we always have to be careful with climate change, but how happy we can be with things with the sun and everything. But I'm happy, and so yeah, well, everything's good.
It seems to be a little bit unstable for my side. I'm not sure whether this is really my issue here. Let me settle this a little bit. I'm sorry, audience. I think we have a little bit of internet reception issue. Let me take a look at that, see whether I can change it a little bit. Okay. All right. Hi there again.
Yeah.
Is that clear now?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
I apologize. I
yeah,
think this a bit. I think something is not quite right from my side actually. Okay,
yeah,
never mind. So I hope that
yeah.
it's gonna be good. Finger crossed. Okay, right. Right. Yes. I missed that a little bit from your side, but never mind. So we just quickly just get into this our dialogue because we have been like wandering around for a bit. Actually, so it's not very nice. Our audience is waiting as well out there. Okay. Thank you so much for joining us on Box Square. Let's get started. Okay. Yes, we are aware that you are the pioneer, the founding member, or the founding father, put it this way, of the IoT Council. So, to successfully establish an IoT Council, which is the Center of Excellence, organize a local IoT Day event. I believe you've done that quite a bit the past few years, which is I have some record also, according to my research. So for my understanding, is like you need to align your technical, business, and security goals. So from the IoT Council objective and strategy, what specific business problems or automation goals are you trying to solve with IoT since you have this establishment?
Yeah, so I mean that's a very good question, and of course I've been working in projects and doing work with communities and with agriculture and all the what people call the verticals in the Internet of Things, like the domain.
Mhm.
But I was always interested in Internet of Things as a whole, which means that. For centuries, we've been living in quite analog environments, and we had innovation and disruption,
Mhm.
but it was in a human scale. We
Mhm.
felt there was a human rhythm,
Mhm.
and then when machines sort of came online, which
Mhm.
started in the factories, where the old workers knew all the machines, so they knew the rhythm, the heat. They could predict when a machine was going to do something different. And later on, as these people left, we introduced sensors on the machines. So we put a sensor for heat, for rhythm, for all kinds of things that we could actually sense with machines. And then so we started to connect these machines, and then all of a sudden they also went out of the factory. So you got more information about machines, and you started building better machines. But
human is always right. Every decade or every 2 to 5 years, always improvement version, they call this.
Yeah, but it stayed behind, right? It stayed in the factory, and around 2000, I realized that with things like ambient intelligence, ubiquitous computing, Internet of Things, that the engineers were actually sort of moving out of the factory. So they started to automate everyday things and everyday life. And all of a sudden, we have all these objects and machines that are connected in our lives, in our homes, in our cars, in our streets. And this went very fast. And in 2000, I thought this is strange, because we should actually negotiate this with far more different people and stakeholders. It cannot be that only engineers and computer scientists are going to determine the pace of our lives.
Okay, Rob, you also established this very important day, which is called World IoT Day. So typically it's celebrated globally on the 9th of April every year. So it's an opportunity to showcase innovation, network, educate your community. That's what I also found out according to your portfolio. Those are the things you have done. So, okay, let's look at the target audience based on this particular day, the World of IoT Day. Who are you actually targeting? Is it the developers, enterprise executives, academics, or the IoT enthusiasts?
Yes, all of those, and my neighbors.
Oh, your neighbors, okay.
Yes. So one of the best IoT days. So I set up this IoT day because I realized we needed a focal point, like April 9 focal point, a day for IoT. And why? Because the point was to have different types of meetings. We have our conferences. We meet kind of the people that we will know that we will meet. We have our business meetings, but we need lunches. We need dinners. We need very informal situations where the CEO of a company can sit next to a developer and they don't know about each other. So we take away we strip all the prestige of all of these things. And one of the best evenings I had when I talked about Internet of Things to my neighbors, because these are these are horizontal developments like IoT. It's everywhere. It's rising every year. So it's sinking into the ground and to the fabric of everyday life, as Mark Weiser called it. So it's really about trying to take it to the front, because we are in a very difficult situation at this moment, right?
Very much transitioning. We are transitioning to the another era, which is we call the era of artificial intelligence. So I think there's a lot of changes, and plus a lot of all these global conflict at the moment.
Exactly.
So things make it really a bit more chaotic. So it is. Okay, Rob, thanks for the little intro of this IoT Day and IoT Council. I think is a good overview. I think for the audience out there, I think it's not difficult to find out, especially if you make use of the search engine. I think you can find IoT Council easily. There is a website, so please do so, help yourself. And also, there's many events happening during the IoT Day, World IoT Day. So please get into that. Okay, well, Rob, let's get into a little bit, which is another level of our discussion now. Maintaining a positive outlook on the technology means viewing it as a powerful tool to elevate human potential, simplify daily living, you just talked about that, and spark global progress. So while it's easy to focus on the digital fatigue or privacy concerns, ask the right question, help us focus on these massive advantages here. So let's look at the global connectivity and community.
Yeah.
In what ways does tech create micro communities for niche interests?
Yeah, well, I mean that's a great question, and but I'm going to start a little bit back with the introduction of the internet, which was the protocol was called pass on the packet. No security, no gatekeepers, nothing. Pass on the packet. So this is how the internet could spread like a virus, because it was a virus. It just says pass on the packet. If you would go to the Malaysian Telecom Association and say, I have a new protocol. Oh, interesting. What does it do? It said, well, it passes on the packet. I don't think you can actually get it. So we had a very strange moment where this internet could go. David Bowie called it an alien technology, and maybe it is, because it's so alien to human nature to have this global protocol or this global layer of collaboration.
That was a good quotation you mentioned. I'm a big fan of David Bowie.
Yes.
Good old David Bowie. Okay, go on, please. Go on.
Yeah. And so this has only been going around for 75 years. And things have gone very, very fast. And so with the connection of the machines and the data that was coming from the machines, people started to do early machine learning, which was they were looking at the data and they were seeing if there were any patterns. And if there were any patterns, they would build algorithms to find those patterns in other places. And this grew into what we now have as artificial intelligence. And we saw last week in the States that in 3 or 4 graduation ceremonies, the graduates booed AI. Whenever there was a mention of AI, it was booed. It was also kind of logical, because we're looking at 5 or 6 AI gurus who say that this is going to cost an immense amount of jobs. There's going to be no more coding. AI will basically do everything, and the generation, of course, gets afraid. So this is not helpful for anyone, right? We don't want this AI hype, because we don't believe AI can do anything. It's still just predicting the next word. I mean, it's not rocket science.
Yeah, of course.
It isn't. It's just a lot of crunching numbers stuff. But
okay, Rob. Yeah. Okay, go on, please.
Just quickly. So on the other hand, we can also not boo it. So we need an alternative. We need a way for especially for this generation graduating and growing up, to come together, to sit together and find ways out of this. and to build links to the governance structures in the countries, so to the government and to the business alliances. So there's a lot of work to be done, but I don't think we should be like overly sort of like optimistic or overly pessimistic. I mean, we are all very simple people, and if you were a simple person in Europe in 1500, you could not do much. You did not really have a lot of agency.
Yeah, 16th century. That's way back, actually.
16th century,
Yeah,
17th century.
that is
also,
the so-called the end of the Renaissance, actually.
no. You
Yeah,
would just
the end of
be you would just be dying in the fields or in a factory. So I mean,
Okay, Rob.
I just want to say we have to be honest that this is still a time of tremendous opportunity and agency for simple people, for people without much, without huge funds or things like that. Sort of, and there's such an amount of tremendous open source development also going on, and like you say, we have to go into applications and niche applications where people are really needed. For example, mental health, which is rising, and there's so much to do in that domain and field. Yeah, it's still a good time.
Yeah, of course. From another perspective, it unites isolated individuals with global peers, providing profound emotional support and reducing loneliness as well. But of course, you talk about just now the education, right? I think from my point of view, another perspective to look at is a free online academics and global webinars grant any student with an interest, connection, access to top-tier learning resources. And also you talk about the health wellness, also another perspective like smartwatches. Smartwatches track heart rate, sleep pattern, and activity matrix to help user prevent chronic illness. So let's look at the daily efficiency and productivity. How has remote work technology improved our work-life balance according to your so-called many years of experience and also your perspective in this practice?
Yeah, I think especially with COVID, we've seen that people will sort of would have to stay at home, and then all kinds of new challenges arose, especially also security, because home computers aren't that much secured. But I think what will happen is all of us are going to have to learn to work in mixed teams, but also these AI agents and will be part of those teams. So we and the younger generation, for which these things are much more normal and it doesn't really matter actually sort of what kind of entity is behind in a way, and so this remote has enabled new forms of participation. So I think it's like again, sort of we act as if it's all quite normal, but we're talking now from different parts of the world.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, it's still. I mean, of course, we all find it normal now, but like 30 years ago, 25 years ago, these things were not there, and so we all come from communities that have been around for like for centuries or for thousands of years with very little change, and we're changing very fast.
Okay. Yeah, Rob. I just managed to tack on one of the keywords you mentioned about the Internet of Agents, IOA. Let's tag along with this.
Yeah.
the transition from the Internet of Things (IoT) to the Internet of Agents (IoA) marks a massive shift, according to what you just said. We are moving from passive connected sensors to autonomous digital entities that can negotiate, make decisions, and add on your behalf. So let's look at the future of autonomy. What defines digital agent? How do agents communicate with each other?
Yeah. So I go quickly back and then I go to that. So I think if you're gaming, and if you're a gamer, you understand avatars.
Mm-hmm.
And so in the 90s, we also had this notion and this idea of an avatar, which would be somehow like a representation of you.
Mm-hmm.
And these agentic agents, they go steps further, because indeed these are autonomous pieces of software that can perform tasks. So tasks are actually quite complex. So you have to gather data about what the task is about. You have to define some context. Context is something that we humans are very good at. And for machines, it's extremely difficult to understand in a way, because we have some intuitive, we have intuition, we have instinct, we have this intuitive sense that if there's a particular type of context, that this is part of the context and that is not part of the context. So try to explain that to machine learning thinking. So there's a plan, there's context, there's a goal, and there's actual completion of this task. So this is very serious, and people are very worried about these AI agents, because if all these AI agents just go roaming around the internet doing sort of all kinds of things.
Yeah, human, yeah.
So the engineers, they want these agents to have auditability and traceability. So still, if you as a person are going to build such an agent, and build an agent and say, I want you to book this concert for me, then you would still have to make a bridge to a payment system. So you would maybe have to give this agent a key or a code to a bank account in order for this autonomous agent to make the payment. And then of course this has to be very secure, because if your agent gets hacked, a lot of things will get hacked.
You just mentioned about human factors. Let's look at this human factors issue here.
Yeah.
Human integration and adaptation.
Yeah.
How will this shift impact everyday job roles? I think I would like you to go into a bit more detail. How do we maintain human agency in a machine-driven world?
Yes, this is very important, and the key word is resilience.
Resilience, okay.
Resilience. So
yeah.
But this is tough, because I'm reading about the Comanches, the Indian tribe in the States. They had very interesting grassroots, bottom-up decision-making structure. Of course, the women were excluded. That was the case. But the men would sit around in a tent, and everyone could talk, and nobody would interrupt anyone, and there would be some kind of. But they also had very important rituals and rites, or rite du passage, for both the girls and the boys, for the generations growing up. And we, as a culture, we lack this now completely. So as we grow up at some point, when we were being 16 or 17, we had these rite du passage, these which you would be sort of tested to a certain extent, but you would also gain be empowered and gain. So we're lacking this at the moment, and so we all have to assume that things will not go maybe easy, and that the notion of also jobs have to kind of change. So what I think we will see, I hope we will see, is good and experiments. Hopefully not just experiments with what is called UBI, Universal Basic Income.
UBI,
yes. In a way that we are going, if we listen to the AI tech gurus, if we listen to Dario from Anthropic, who basically say that let's say 50% of all of this. Imagine you're young, growing up, and you've just graduated in coding school, and you hear this. So first of all, you've got to talk to your friends, and you've got to build alliances and teams and communities of your friends in order to think about ways of finding income. And you have to be creative about it, and so that's definitely needed. But from a governance, from a government perspective, we cannot have this type of automation taking out that many of jobs without universal basic income. This means that everybody would get a good income that would be affordable housing, money for food and everything. Now, I think, but I'm not an economist, I think this is very simple, because you just give people the money, and the people just put the money in the economy, right? Nobody's gonna not spend that money and save it and sort of everybody's just gonna spend it. So it's just a circle. It makes, but we have to think about these things. So we have to also in Malaysia, everywhere in the world, we need parties, we need people.
Actually, fundamentally, yes.
Yes, not so much parties as in go to politics. I mean, that's not so really. But like movements, and especially movements from young people.
This is another. Actually, this is another part of the conversation. Because this is very huge. Okay, Rob, the shift from isolated AI chatbots to a decentralized, interconnected ecosystem known as the Internet of Agent, IOA, which is you indicated multiple times, is completely redefining software engineering, enterprise governance, and global connectivity. This paradigm transition transform the web from the human-centric information repository to an agent-centric web, where autonomous AI systems communicate, discover, negotiate, and collaborate directly with one another. So from the discovery point of view, how do agents find one another dynamically without centralized gatekeepers?
Yeah, that's the question. And so for a long time, I always thought that the solution was on the device level. And of course, the person who was brilliant in this was Steve Jobs. And he came with the smartphone in 2007. And because he realized that he controlled, that was the only way to control this space of flows, as he called it, because it's just everywhere, is to have a device and to control what goes in and what goes out. And in 2007, when he launched it, he even controlled the networks. So he controlled the providers. He said, you can you can be part of our ecosystem and you cannot be part of our ecosystem. So, and then he built this app store, which is like 250 billion or whatever. Sort of this, it's just mind blowing. But that's the way to go. That was the way to go. So in the United States, Jobs got it, and in China, the government got it, the party got it. So in China, we now have engineers as presidents since 1993, and they basically look at the country as a platform, and they realized that if they would allow this internet free into China, they would be out of. I mean, they would be in the same position as Europe, with 80 to 85% of dependence on hyperscalers. So the Chinese were very clever because they understood immediately, being engineers, that this was not analog plus digital.
Exactly.
No,
yeah.
This was analog plus digital is hybrid. They understood the hybrid immediately, and now they can steer on semicon on all the layers. So it's
exactly. I mean, we all can see the current innovation experience and all the things what they do is really cutting edge. Is really in the front line of the entire innovation, which is for the human civilization. Yeah, it's really amazing.
Exactly, yeah. and why is that? Because you need to tailor your skills to the situation.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you're in the samurai age, well, you better be a samurai, or sort of like, and the king is also a samurai, because sort of. So, and if you're in a world of books, then probably the academics are going, and sort of they will be kind of leading. And if you want to be in a religious kind of way, some priest or some well, if we're in a hybrid, highly technical environment, we need people that understand the hybrid technical environment to be in charge. And this was the problem in Europe when in 2000, when the cloud started, our politicians and civil servants, basically also economists and lawyers, interesting and good, and nothing against them, but they should not be driving the seat now. And they're still driving because the European Commission has 26 top positions, and 12 of them at this moment are lawyers. 12 lawyers in 26 top positions. So this means we had 18 acts coming out in the last 4 years. We'll probably have another 20 coming out. It's totally irrelevant. Sort of, this is why Europe is irrelevant, because it should be more relevant, but at the moment it cannot be more relevant because its leadership does not understand the nature of the situation. They still think that they can remedy a kind of situation with some words on paper, which of course is irrelevant. So going back to your question, so what should we do with this notion of the agents? Well, I think what I'm looking now is this triangle between of AI, IoT, and 6G. 6G will be coming 2030. Everybody is working hard on it. China's investing, India's investing, Brazil, Europe, Malaysia. Everyone's investing. But at the moment, they're not investing for the right use cases. It's still a little bit of tech push. There's going to be a lot more masts. You cannot say we're going to sort of have this new 100 billion in sort of investment, and what you can do is you can download your movies 50 times faster. I mean, that's not good enough. So you need something. You need something. So we are now. I set up a group, an IEEE Open 6G ecosystem device architecture group. And we're now 5 months in. We're getting great traction, because also what we see is that a lot of the abilities that will be able to act are going to be on the chip. So the chip providers are now putting a lot more capabilities on the chip, which means you put an operating system on the chip. So it starts from the chip, which is great because you own that chip. So security-wise, you gain a lot if you can do hardware and software security and entangle that. So what we envisage and what we're actually building is this wallet that also in Europe is pretty big, the digital wallet in which people are going to put their credentials in euros. We're thinking it should not be an app in either Android or Apple. That's a little bit strange because then 450 million Europeans are going to put their entire capabilities on two US operating systems that we do not control, and in phones we do not control. So we have this idea, and we're actually building the components to build a 6G phone. But the 6G phone is not going to be a 6G phone because the phone is this. I'm a boomer. I'm old. I do this for phone. The younger generations, they don't do this when they talk about a phone. They do this. It's a flat object. It's an AI edge device, which it is going to be by 2030. So we're going to make this AI edge device that could also act as a phone, but it's not really necessary because most of the generation under us do not phone. They just type and do whatever, or they do WhatsApp or so, all kinds of things. So we can build this in as well. But in that wallet, you will have your credentials, your euro, but you will also have hard-coded in that wallet the AI Act. But not the AI Act with 2,000 pages that nobody's going to read, but 10 principles from the AI Act that you want your devices to run. And in this wallet, you will also have AI agents. So you people will have AI agents, but these AI agents, the AI agents, they originate from your wallet. So this means that there's some coded traceability and auditability in there because they originate from your wallet. We don't care what they do, but we do want to know where they've been, if there's been a problem, or if there's been an issue or a breach or a hack somewhere. So that's the thinking now. And this thinking is in with the big chip manufacturers, and it's so logical. I was always hoping that people would kind of see this, because we do not need 15,000 more acts and words that nobody reads or does. We need machine readable versions of that on the chip in your device, and then we can set policies. And if your device is acting in a weird way, the policy can just shut it off. It's sort of it's a and this is the way it should have been. So of course we love Vint Cerf and Bob Kahn, and they were fantastic because they broke tremendous narratives. Just to say that in 1452, you could print a book in Holland, and then Gutenberg Press. So if I'm an alien looking at that, I think okay, you will make your entire population literate by 1500.
I think this is also an open framework require decentralized registry, like similar to the DNS for agent like domain name system to resolve newly spawned capabilities in the millisecond. Okay, let's move on to a little bit of cyber warfare here.
Yeah.
Okay. Cyber warfare and the systemic risk. As agents scale, they introduce entirely novel threat vectors that move far past standard user impersonation or simple software bugs. So action hijacking, let's look at this. How do we prevent direct or indirect prompt injection from manipulating valid tools.
Yeah. No, this is, again, this is a key question. So all I can say at this moment is that we are trying to bring as much of these potential actions as machine readable sort of advice for agents but these agents, in our view, they leave the wallet, so they have already some accountability, and we can cloak that, and we can make this totally privacy sort of privacy aware from the consumer point of view. But like I said, sort of basically, we have built our house on ice. We have built a digital world on a protocol that had nothing in terms of security, that had nothing in terms of domain knowledge. And for example, the 1452 Gutenberg press built schools, but only in Holland in 1830. So it takes 300, 400 years, because the power is in the hands of nobles and kings and the church. They don't want to really make people literate, because they could have made people literate by 1500, but they don't do that. They also don't do it in 1600, and they don't do it in 1700. They do it in 1830. That's way too late. And so
that's the 19th century, right?
Exactly. It's insane. It's insane.
This is the Victorian period, actually.
Yeah. And they would put you in jail if you say, "Can I read a book in my language?" Right. But the generation now doesn't know that sort of the things that they
history behind that,
is mind blowing, but to them is so logical and normal. But what I wanted to say is that, of course, we did need an internet protocol like pass on a packet to break all these power structures, and this is now also why these power structures are trying to claim this agency back over this internet freedom. But we should be aware how precious it is to have this internet. But we should also be aware that
and also ethically we shouldn't abuse. We shouldn't abuse that. But there's many users out there, they're really taking advantage, really abuse this internet, so-called internet innovation. They abuse it, they just like out of order, anything what they do because of the technological utopian ideas.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Rob, the leap from the early web to the Internet of Things already transformed society, which is, you talk about it. You brought us to the historical context. But the Internet of Agents raises a deeper shift. Machines no longer just connect or sense. They decide, negotiate, execute, and learn autonomously. So if machines increasingly make decisions for us, booking, buying, hiring, diagnosing, like negotiating, do humans become supervisor or spectators?
Yes. This is so I think, so this notion of autonomy should not be allowed to machines at this moment. So that's why we're going on the chip. That's why we want to build this device ecosystem where you go to some semi-autonomous movement, but you cannot have thousands, millions, billions of AI agents running wild in an infrastructure that is leaking totally, that has no accountability, that just can hide and use all kinds of dark web and all kinds of networks in order to do that. So basically, so if we do that, I think, were also very unfair to animals, because there's so much knowledge in so much experience and so many skills in our natural world and in our animal wildlife. And so we put them in zoos, and then we start building environments for for some software packages, and so I think we have to be very careful, because we are still living a bit in the engineer's dream. And although it was necessary for the engineers to be in the cockpit, to if they were building this for society like they do in China, then at this moment the engineers should be in the back seat now. The things are okay, it's running. We need philosophers, and we need teachers, philosophers, poets, artists in the front.
A little humanities behind that. Okay, in your point of view, Rob, could AI agents I tried to rephrase what I want to ask you. Could AI agents widen inequality instead of reducing it? So to break it down, these questions again, will the Internet of Agents democratize opportunity or concentrate power among a handful of governments and mega platform controlling the world's intelligence system?
It's well, both are still possible, but so that's also why I wrote this book about statecraft, and said, look, we cannot go on anymore with this notion of democracy as voting every 4 years for a party that's being paid for by the model. So in a very strange way, we have this in Europe. We have this idea that this is democracy, but basically the parties are being paid for by the model. So I mean, it's like a business model, and they look 2 to 3 years ahead. So we need to be able to look 10 to 15 years ahead, just like again, like the Chinese engineers have. So. And so we need to build new teams with engineers, investors, people who get it, to build a backbone of society that makes sense. So AI agents, in my view, make sense when you want to tackle the like self-healing energy systems, or water pipes that are leaking 50% of water every day down the drain. 50% of water globally is going down the drain. So we need better pipes, we need robots for that. And so I think we need AI, robotic, physical AI, instead of building 15,000 billion humanoid robots that are just going to take the place of persons. It makes no sense. Now,
okay,
I have to go, but I really enjoy this conversation. So I'd love to come back, and I would also love to engage with people, which I cannot do now, which I'm very
I know that. Right after this, you have another webinar to go.
I made the mistake of planning badly. So
no problem, Rob. I think all right, Rob. I think that's it for this evening, and then we need to call off. I know that you want to just go off, and thank you very much for joining us on the evening show, Rob. This is a pleasure. Was absolutely mine, and it has been a privilege hosting you. Of course, we can talk more.
Thank you. It's been a privilege to talk with a person that is dialoguing so well, and so thank you very much.
Thank you, Rob.
Thank you.
Okay, audience. Yeah, I know that it's a bit rushed, and also we have a little bit of technicality early on. Rob just made a mistake. He has another which is a seminar to attend. He's one of the so-called speaker. So I mean, in Netherlands. So he has to go off for this. So, but he has made apologies to me and also to the audience. So he hopes that he can stay on for this conversation. We have talked about this a few weeks ago. So the things we're gonna talk about there, I think is really, really exciting. It was a very enthusiastic. You can see that. I think you can feel that he was making the good acknowledgement early on. Okay, never mind. Also, and I compile the things of what I have been gone through with some of the studies, and I'll talk with him in the private setting, and also earlier on included. Those are the findings. Those are the dialogue. He's concerned. His thought about these IoT and also IOA, which is Internet of Agents. So, quick food for thought here. The Internet of Agents. So, this is one of the key words today, this evening. IOA is a rapidly looming reality with market projection estimating that autonomous AI agents will manage over 30% of routine digital tasks by 2028. This shift transforms our world into a living laboratory where software no longer just stores data but actively makes executive decisions on our behalf. First, for instance, from connected to agentic, which is has highlighted by Rob, the old Internet of Things IoT merely connected your thermostat to your phone, for instance. The Internet of Agents IOA allows the thermostat to negotiate energy prices with local grid, purchase its own replacement parts, and coordinate with your autonomous car without your intervention. This is what he just highlighted. And also the second part, slower human. Innovation is exponential, we all aware that, but human biological and cultural adaptation remains linear. According to Rob, we are rapidly becoming the bottleneck in our own technological ecosystem, forced to transition from active doers to passive overseers. So the third here is the living lab dilemma. Because these agentic systems are too complex to simulate perfectly in closed setting, they are being tested, live on the global population. Every software update is in a real-time experiment on our social economic stability. Surviving the wave of the Internet of Agents requires shifting our focus from absolute control to strict controls. We must design human in the loop, according to Rob, protocols where agents propose and justify action, but humans retain the final veto. Through integration means ensuring technology serves human flourishing rather than forcing humanity to constantly sprint to keep up with its own creation. Listener and audience out there, the question is no longer whether machine can think. The question is whether humanity can evolve fast enough to live alongside machines that act. Of course, the Internet connected people, the Internet of Things connected objects, the Internet of Agents may connect decisions themselves, and that changes everything. On that note, we will have to call it a day for today, this evening, and so for our technical master, DCS team, a big way from here. Unboxed², organized by the Policy Research and Engagement Initiative, PREI, from Digital Connect Society and supported by Mila University. Till then, take care and each other. Have a nice evening.